Okay, this is the Serpentine belt. This is the tensioner. As you can see, it's going to be a little tough getting up in there. This, of course, is a Stretchy belt to the power steering pump, which should be easy enough to actually put on and remove and then reinstall. But I'm replacing the tensioner. Now I can get to one bolt. I may have to drop it down to get to the others. Not quite sure how I'm going to do that, because it's very tight up there. So getting up to them is going to be definitely an issue. Okay folks, I'm trying to get at that one bolt right there, and with the engine being a little on the warm side, it's a little difficult. Don't have the right links. I can't get it from the bottom, and I'm definitely trying to get it from the top. So this is the problem. Now, to make it easier on myself, I could remove a whole bunch of stuff just to get this one bolt off. So I've just decided to keep with it and work at it and see if I can't get it. I got different tools at my disposal, so I'm just going to keep working at it. The last one on the bottom I can get at easy enough. So this is the hard one. This is the one I'm going to take off now, and it's also going to be the first one that I put on so that I can get things going. So we'll go from there and see what I get. Okay, I've been working at this thing, and it's 1/4 turn at a time. Getting there, getting it out, and it's going to be the same thing, reversing it, getting it back in. So, unless you want to remove all the coolant bottles and windshield washer bottles and everything else, and then this is the way I'm choosing to do it. Right or wrong, this is how I'm doing it. The prize. I got it, finally got it removed, so on to the third one. This is the tensioner, removed. The old one, not too bad a shape for having 265 plus thousand miles on it, but we're going to go ahead and replace it with a new one. By the way folks, this is the part number. I don't know if you can see it, but it is the original Ford Motor Company replacement part from Ford, so that's what I stuck with. I didn't go with an aftermarket type. I went with the original part. This was running with tax 123 bucks, so works good. We'll go ahead and get it put back in. Okay folks, don't ask. It's taken a long time, but I am finally going to tighten up the last nut on this thing for the tensioner. It's been a long time in getting it done, but I finally got it there. How you doing? tensioner is now tightened up. Now I'm going to move on to the stretchy belt, which just so happens to be right up in here, right there is the stretchy belt. So I'm going to be working on this, removing the. Well, folks, I have determined that the stretchy belt is right there. So being it's right there, I'm going to take the easy way out, and I'm just going to cut her. And that's that. That's how you get the stretchy belt off. You just pull it off and cut it. Again, you want to look at it a little bit. This is the original stretchy belt, and believe it or not, there are no cracks in the original stretchy belt. Look at that. Motorcraft part, everything on there. And the stretchy belt, if you look at it, got some interior cracks to it, but overall, it's a good belt yet. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the new one on. Okay, it's an 18 millimeter, guys. Okay, that's it, it's on. Now I gotta do is cut the zip ties off. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the zip ties off with the side cutters, and then I'll be done with that process. Hey guys, got it on there. It was actually a very simple process with the zip ties. I do, however, tell you, when you put the zip tie on there, I had to hold the belt to give it some friction. When the zip ties finally did get enough pressure on to pull on the belt, then I kept a little pressure on it. Once it got to a little before the halfway mark, it had enough force on it that it actually had grip. And then when I turned this with a 18 millimeter large bar ratchet, then it did grab it, and it all seated in there perfectly, just like it was supposed to. So that being said, the stretchy belt wasn't necessarily a bad problem, but did get it all going on there. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the new Serpentine belt on, and of course get that on there, and then I got to go back and reverse everything and button it back up. Okay, getting to the belt down there, I got everything set up. Not really be able to see that well, but basically pulled the tensioner back after I had everything installed. Got the belt, Serpentine belt wrapped around in there. You do it from the top side here, and then you got to go back down around here, and of course get the Serpentine to go around here to get it to actually fit, and then check everything. But got the Serpentine belt installed now. Got the new power steering stretchy belt put on. So basically what I'm looking at is I'm going to have to button this all back up. I got to take and reinstall the wheel well covering and get all these fasteners put back in. I think I broke one or two, so the garage here has a couple on hand because they always do that. So I'll just get some from them, and then of course pick everything up and clean up after myself. And then another interesting point was I did check my brakes out, and I checked the wear bars on them. And if you look down in the far corner down in there, you see that? See that notch right there? Folks, that's 100,000 miles on these brake pads. And they are in good shape. Even on the other side there, I've checked them. And of course, they are in good shape. So, can't really see it. There we go. But they are in good shape, and I'm not down to the wear on those yet either. So I'll monitor them and carry on with the driving on it. But otherwise, I did find a leak underneath the car. It is a leak coming from the engine. It is engine oil, and we're just going to carry this thing as far as it'll go. You know, a leak's a leak. It's not worth repairing because it doesn't lose enough oil between oil changes. But as I say, it was a probable rear seal leak, and at this point, it's just not worth the money to fix it. You know, so I'm just going to keep on trucking with it. But overall, this thing is doing pretty good. I'm going to check the rear brakes on it, and I make sure they're in good shape, which I'm absolutely sure they are, because they're newer than the fronts. But other than that, I'm just going to button this thing back up and show you a little bit here and there as I button it back up. But it's basically the same reverse process. But that's it for the stretchy belt and the Serpentine belt replacement. Didn't show everything I could, but then again, you need two hands, and I don't have a cameraman, so just tried to help a little bit on how to get to things and how to work with them, and it all worked out in the long run. I can't stress enough the need for this tool. This is, as they say, a tension system, and it comes with various connections to it and everything. It's thin, it gets into those tight spaces. Here at the garage, they loan the tools out so I can do it here at the Army base. But overall, good tool. I liked it. It worked very, very good. So, not that you want to go out and buy it for a one-time use, but I can see that being a valuable tool if you're going to change your own Serpentine belts on a regular basis. So, and this is the other part of the kit right here that I used. But overall, just going to put everything back together and see where I go. And I'll take a few short videos of putting it back together here and there to show it. But these are the old belts. Of course, I went reckless and I cut that stretchy belt off. But everything worked out in the long run. So sometimes you just got to take a chance. Okay, let's go ahead and check the rear brakes on this thing real quick, and then I'm going to put her all back together and get done. What? 20, 21. Oh, that's not bad. It does. I just want to check the brakes, see what kind of condition there is. Well, I got a lot of brake pad left, so I'm checking that. We're checking in here. I got tons of brakes left on this thing. They did turn them, so they are thin. but I think I got enough left on here to get myself down to the point that next time I check them, I'll just go ahead and replace the pads and rotors and everything. But they're good enough for now, and I'm just going to go ahead and roll with them. As you can see, the CarQuest pads is what the garage put on them. But rotors look nice and smooth yet, a little pitted, but I think we're good to go for a while. Now, I did want to show you guys one thing. I do have oil leak. Now, to me, looks like we got either oil, which is what it looks like, or it might be a little bit of tranny fluid. Either way, it's leaking. I'm not losing sufficient quantities, enough of any fluid to go in and rip this 265,000 mile engine apart to fix anything. So as long as she'll hold together leaking, then we're going to live with that leak. But this is definitely something you might want to be aware of. It does leak a little oil after 265,000 miles. So, you know, it's a tired engine. It's got a lot of time on it, and it still runs, still starts, still does everything that it is required to do. So that's pretty much how we're going to look at it. Exhaust system looks remarkably well for the number of miles on it, and of course this one spot right here was a constant velocity joint that bounced off of a semi and bounced under my car and hit my muffler and dented it. Just one of the little road hazards you run across. This guy's CV joint, or knuckle, on the drive shaft exploded, and it bounced at me, and I thought it was going to go through my windshield, but it landed just in front of the car, bounced underneath the car, and hit the muffler and dented the muffler. I didn't see any place else that it actually hit. So no harm, no foul on that. Dented muffler, it's been that way for 100,000 miles or more, so I'm not going to worry about it. But rust wise, I think you all pretty much look at it. Not really rusty for the number of miles I got on it. I do drive in Iowa, so that has a lot to be said about some salt and everything else. But anyway, this is it. I'm going to wrap this up, but one thing I have learned is that I'm an amateur at this, so by all means, what you guys are seeing me do may not be the right way, but I got it done. I got the belts replaced. I got a new serpentine belt on there. I got a new power steering pump belt on there, stretchy belt, and I got a new tensioner. And you know what? I achieved my goal, and that's all I wanted to do. Whether or not I got it done in record time or not is up for y'all to decide. But then again, I was filming at the same time, trying to give you all the scoop on what's going on, so just keep that in mind. But overall, this is what a Ford Edge underside, everything else looks like after 265,000 miles. And I'll even take a video of the odometer if y'all don't believe me. But this is where we're at for now. I'm going to take and show you this. This is the tool that I'm going to be using. And essentially what this does is it torques the lugs down to the proper torque spec based on this tool. It's a Torx extension, and it will set it at the correct foot-pounds of torque for the wheel just by attaching this onto the air gun and using it. Then you just count, and for some reason, as they say, this thing will bend and twist once it gets to the set foot-pounds, and you won't over-tighten it. So I'm going to give this a shot and see how it works. I'm putting the tire back on. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I had the wrong size for the lug, so it's 19 millimeter for the lug on this tool, so we're going to shoot it again. This time on the front. that's it. This thing basically it twists a little bit once you get it to the right angle, the right torque. So good handy little extension if you want to use it with air tools. But this is pretty much it. I'm going to button this thing up and we're going to call it a day, and we'll get this posted on here. But if nothing else, this is MACT, and this is how I do things. Got everything done, started it, everything ran like it was supposed to, so I'm just going to take and get this thing going again after I pay my $15 for the bay rental here at the Army base, and I'm going to go home and do some other things. But either way, that's how it all turned out. So it started, ran good, belt's good, everything functioned, so we're all set. This is it.